This girl was playing with clay. When she smeared the clay on her 5 senses were gone, and breathing became difficult. She just walked. The clay came out of the well, picked up her eyes by hand, adjusted the position of the eyes, and followed the girl. Not long after, the nose and mouth were also stolen. The people around were also stunned by the scene. A hunter raised his gun to the clay, and instantly he was shot to pieces. It was thought that he was dead. But what I didn't expect was that in a flash he was back to his original form and once again jumped and ran towards the girl. The woman saw him running over, picked up the shovel and split him in half. But the clay was too difficult to deal with. Not only did he not die, but he stretched out 2 long clay hands and went right through the house from under the door, pulled the girl out of the man's hands and sucked her straight into his body. Then he turned into a clay slab of pie, and tasted it and said he was delicious. After this shocking series of operations, he jumped into the well and ran away. The parents lay at the mouth of the well calling out hoarsely, but could never call back their child. This was the 11th case of missing children in the town. Soon after, 2 men came to town. The 2 men claimed to be famous exorcists. They are called the Brothers Grimm and can help dispel the town's demons and monsters. The arrival of the 2 men gave the villagers a new hope. When night came, the Brothers Grimm took out their equipment and intended to start casting magic. They first drew a 6-manifold star on the ground. The skilled technique could tell that the 2 were still quite experienced. But before the spell was done, a huge demon wind blew into the house. The demon really broke in, and it seems that the spell worked. Just as the demon came head-on, the 2 immediately hand weapons against the demon. After a struggle, Jack shot an arrow into the heart of the demon. With a scream, the demon fell to the ground and washed away. Seeing the process of catching the demon, the villagers were very happy to run back to the village to report. However, the next second, the demon in the house came back to life. What the hell is going on here? It turns out that this is all the Green brothers prepared a deception. They created the spooky event in advance to create a scary atmosphere, and then, as the gods appear, to help everyone exorcise the demons. After getting the bounty of exorcism and preaching, several people came to the tavern to spend money, completely immersed in the lies they made up. Meanwhile, a little girl was picking mushrooms in the forest. Suddenly, a strange noise came from the cave behind her. She was so scared that she turned around and ran, and as she ran, a big tree actually moved. She was even more scared and ran outside the forest. But in the end, she could not escape the monster's control. In the end, only the red cloak hanging on the tree was left swaying alone in the wind. The next day, a little girl was introduced into the forest. The branches of the tree took away her cape, and then the water floated down into the depths. Soon she was led to a cave. Just as she took off her shawl, countless small flying insects burst out. Then a dark shadow appeared. With a scream, the girl was nowhere to be found. The disappearance of 2 children in quick succession shocked the king. He found the Grimm brothers to try to get them to exorcise the demon. But this time, the incident was not a trap set by the brothers, which means that the demon might be real. They confessed the truth of the matter to the king. The king had wanted to execute them. At the pleading of the 2, the king gave them a chance to make up for their mistake and let them catch the real monster. The black horse spat out a spider silk that wrapped around the girl. Then the black horse lifted its head and swallowed her directly. The girl struggled in the horse's stomach, but it was no use. It turns out that at night, the girl heard the black horse chirping. She went out with a lantern, got up and came to the horse to visit the horse. But the hand just touched the horse's mouth suddenly found a spider. Then a handful of spider silk wrapped around the girl's hand, not only tighter and tighter, but also more and more, immediately wrapped around her entire body. The girl kept struggling, but the next second it became the horse's midnight snack. The black horse that ate the girl ran like a man possessed. After the sound woke up the Grimm brothers, they turned and ran into the woods. Anna rode after him, followed by the Grimm brothers. But after entering the forest, the 3 found that the trees here seemed to have come to life. Tree branches stopped them one after another. A coyote slowly approached, hissing and lunging at Anna. The wolf didn't make any move, and turned around and ran away after scaring off Anna. After some tossing and turning, the 3 of them came to a towering tower. Anna told everyone that this tower was built by the queen. Many years ago, the town outbreak of the plague. The selfish queen alone to hide in the tower, trying to escape the plague. But she did not know that the virus can also be spread through the wind, even if it is hiding in the tower. She was finally infected. Her skin continued to fester and she eventually died alone in the tower. The Grimm brothers climbed up the tower in order to find out what was going on. Looking down from the tower, there were 12 stone coffins surrounding the tower. This number box, the same number of missing children. Could there be any connection between the two events? Then Jack entered the tower. It was all thick with dust and spider silk. Although time has covered this place with a veil, but it is not difficult to see the former prosperity of this place. Jack found a sheepskin here. It is written that as long as the day of the blood moon, with the blood of 12 girls' sacrifice, you can make the queen back to life. This also explains why those girls will be strangely missing. Jack came to the bedside, on which lay the long-dead queen. Her whole body was dry, like the bark of a rotting tree. The man kissed the toad, which tasted indescribable. The toad was licked and comfortable, and surprisingly, he wanted to do it again. Just then, the missing girl floated up from the bottom of the lake. Will just wanted to go fishing, but the werewolf reappeared. After he transformed into an adult, he pulled the girl out and put her into a stone coffin. After seeing the werewolf leave, Will rescued the girl. I did not expect the werewolf one to understand. She ran in. Will flashed fast enough. Meanwhile, Jack in the tower came to the body of the queen. Suddenly a crow came with a pill and put it into the queen's mouth. The queen woke up early and cast a magic spell on Jack. Beautiful appearance. The voice of the soul to make Jack a little uncontrollable. Good at the critical moment. Will smashed a stone. A hand hit the mirror. Jack came to his senses, then leapt down the tower with a leap through the queen's long hair. The werewolf below was about to kill Will. Jack fell from the sky and hit the past with a slap. The two took this opportunity to pick up the girl and run wild. After returning to the village, they told all the villagers about the queen's plan. Today is the day of the blood moon. With little time left, everyone was preparing to run for their lives. But just then, the king arrives at the village with his army. He called the Grimm brothers liars in front of everyone, and then ordered that the two brothers would be burned to death along with the enchanted forest this night. Under the attack of the cannon, the forest soon turned into a sea of fire. Anna arrived in time and took advantage of the chaos to take the brothers away. But at that moment, the werewolf appeared once again to stop Anna. The werewolf revealed his face, and he turned out to be Anna's father. Under the eyes of the Grimm brothers, the werewolf took Anna away. He had already gathered 11 a maiden, plus Anna to make up 12. Blood Moon's resurrection ritual was about to start. Putting Anna into the last stone coffin, the werewolf took the blood from her hand, and then he mixed the blood of 12 maidens together and sent it to the queen. The Grimm brothers, who were close behind, were just about to step forward to stop it when the queen just waved her hand and the two were fixed to the wall. Then the queen finished drinking the mixed blood, and her appearance was restored to a young state. At this point, the Grimm brothers, still resisting the control of magic, holding daggers pointing at each other. Will was the first to let go and was thrust into the body by Jack's Thane. He was about to die, and a queen aside said she could save him. He pulled a nail from the werewolf's body, and then plunged it into Will's chest. Will was resurrected, but it also meant that he would be subservient to the queen forever. Just then, Jack found the key to break the game. It turns out that the queen's body is not the mummy, but the mirror in the corner. As Jack splits the mirror, the queen's body also explodes like a shard. At this point, the werewolf holding a piece of the fragment, the moon under the high tower. The tower that symbolized the queen also collapsed. After Jack climbed out of the rubble, save Will and the stone he pulled out the nails will also gradually awakened. And finally the girls were saved, and the Grimm brothers also lived a good life in the fields with Anna. This movie is called The Brothers Grimm. Welcome to Follow Me. We will see you next time.